Hi guys! So my TED Talk video today is going to talk about Hatha Yoga and its benefits on the body as well as stress reduction. So yoga in general can be defined as balance, integration, and harmony of the body and the mind. Many people simply see yoga as just like a series of flexibility exercises, but it's really a progression of movements that are conscious in combination with one's breathing that work to discipline the ego and the mind. So there are different types of yoga, but Hatha yoga specifically is the most popular in the Western world, and today this type of yoga is practiced by millions of people globally. Hatha yoga involves coordinating pranayama, or a series of breathing techniques influenced by the diaphragm, with asanas, which are basically just the specific poses or postures of yoga. So Hatha Yoga specifically is a philosophy of living a balanced life, and it promotes an integration of conscious awareness in all behaviors, actions, and movements. The particular theme of Hatha Yoga is that by learning to become more flexible with the body, one can also become more flexible with his or her thoughts or feelings. There are varying types of Hatha Yoga, including Ashtanga Yoga, which is, it synchronizes a high-speed series of asanas with breath work. Power Yoga, which is Hatha Yoga with muscle power asanas. Bikram Yoga, which is yoga that's practiced in 105-degree heat. And then Iyengar Yoga, which has each asana being held for a long period of time. And Iyengar Yoga is the kind of yoga that James, the yoga instructor who teaches all of the Palace yoga classes at IC, that's the kind of yoga that he practices. So I took the Palace Yoga 2 and 3 classes over the course of a year and a half, and so I also practiced Iyengar Yoga for a while. Examples of some of my favorite poses that I used to do include child's pose, so that's a popular one. Downward facing dog, which is also another popular one. Supine bound angle, or Sudha Baddha Konasan, which is the Sanskrit name, and that's the only Sanskrit name that I actually remember. And lastly, Warrior 1 and Warrior 2. So Warrior 2 normally follows Warrior 1. And so those are some of the poses that I liked. In terms of the benefits of Hatha Yoga, since the beginning of the 21st century, yoga and Hatha Yoga specifically has been examined as a way to improve one's overall health and vitality, as well as to reduce stress. So it's believed that the repetition of daily selected asanas or poses enables homeostasis of the body, mind, and spirit, and it also encourages longevity. Hatha Yoga is recognized as a multidimensional approach of stress management, like I said, and so it works by decreasing anxiety, and just in terms of my own experiences with yoga, I definitely thought that I was less anxious after my yoga practice. It is also believed to be a complementary means of healing for many chronic illnesses such as breast cancer, and in addition, Hatha Yoga provides balance and symmetry to the muscle groups that are typically imbalanced due to stress, which normally leads to chronic pain. So evidence exists that shows how a daily yoga practice can help stop chronic pain. So next I'm going to talk about just some tips for incorporating Hatha Yoga into your daily life. Maintaining a practice on your own is possible, but you can also attend yoga classes, which are really popular, and many studios allow you to sample different classes just so you get a feel of each one and you can find the best fit for you in terms of like your personality and your schedule. Know your limits and avoid pain, because pain is not the goal of yoga, even though stretching is encouraged. This was something that I struggled with a lot because I spent 18 years of my life doing gymnastics, and we would always stretch to the point of pain. And when I was doing yoga, my yoga instructor would have to remind me that, pain, like I said before, wasn't the goal. And it's just like a light stretch. It's recommended to allow at least 1 to 2 hours between eating and doing yoga. And this was something that my yoga instructor, James, also strongly emphasized to our class, because we weren't supposed to eat like a really big breakfast before coming to class. Next, practice in a quiet place. During my time doing yoga 2 and 3, a lot of the times the fitness room wasn't quiet at all, and that really had an impact on the quality of our yoga classes. Practice your breathing or pranayama because it's a key part of Hatha yoga, so it's important to remember that along with the poses, you also need to work on your breathing. And lastly, it's recommended that if you do one asana or pose on one side of the body, that you repeat that pose on the other side of the body in order to promote balance. So in conclusion, Hatha Yoga is a philosophy of life that promotes harmony and balance. Those who practice yoga 3 or more times each week, so a pretty daily practice of yoga or weekly practice of yoga, are more flexible, not only in terms of their bodies, but also in terms of their own ways of thinking. They're also believed to sleep and eat better, have decreased mood swings, and maintain an overall positive sense of well-being. So I hope that the benefits of yoga and the information that I presented in my TED Talk today have inspired some of you to try yoga.